Hello and welcome to the third Bebras Lodge tutorial for creating interactive tasks. And in this tutorial I'm going to introduce you to the basics of task development using code in Bebras Lodge system. And to start developing the task, we can open the main task template from the templates folder and fork it, creating our own task, providing ID, title, and a folder for the task to be saved. As in previous examples, firstly we need to add image parameters. And choose an image to upload and click save. See that the image is uploaded, and the same way we have to provide parameters for the HTML components, for the content of HTML components. And I'm going to use the same task as in previous tutorials, so I'm not gonna write the full question. And again, you have to click save. And I'm going to add another parameter. Another parameter to illustrate how you can create HTML components using code. Okay. When we added our parameters, we can enter the live mode. And here we have some pre-written code. I'm going to explain it later. And firstly, we're going to add a picture using code. So, of course, we can add a new picture using using visual mode. Just drag and drop picture component, and we have it. But sometimes it's useful to add a picture in a live mode by code. This can be an example where we have to provide multiple pictures that look the same, and so on. And we can add any parameter that you can find in the visual mode using code, any component. So the way we do it is this. So task picture, and the same way you can add any component in Bebras Lodge. And of course we have to provide URL. And here, important thing to note is that picture has to be uploaded, and we are taking it from the parameter list, from params. Oh, I can move it lower. And here we have our picture. The same way we can add an HTML component. And we can provide the content. Again, the same way, just adding the content from the parameter list. Question, that's the name of the parameter that I created previously. And we can move it lower as well. The same way, again, we can add an input field. And here an answer will be provided in this input field. So what we have to do is provide the parameter answer and set it to true. And all the components that have answer set to true will be included in the answer, the same way as in visual mode. And we also need a name for an answer component. And here we have a simple task. Of course, we could have done this in the visual mode, but as we did it in writing code, we can also add some improvements. For example, we can restrict what can be an input in the input field by using regular expression, and it's also an illustration of how you can access different components in the task, really similar here. So and then we can of course add the answer as before. We can add the answer and check if it's true, if it's correct. And this function in the main template helps you to load the answer that has been previously recorded, and you can and it works with most of the answer types, but it's still a good idea to check if it works correctly. So in order to do that, you can check what is the current answer, copy it, and then paste it in the quotes as explained in the comment section, and you can see that this answer is loaded. So this function works correctly. just don't forget to comment it again. And if this way of defining the answer, of checking the answer, is not enough, there's some sample code of how you can create a more complicated answer. And that's about it. The basics of how to create the components using code and Bebras Lodge. And in the next tutorial, I'm going to introduce the switch and switch group components and how you can use them to create more interactive tasks.